Right, shall we go through every Prem club and speak about the best decision they made in 2021?
Brilliant idea. Loads has happened in the last 5 months, hasn't it?
Okay, let's do it. But how many likes do you want?
10,000 likes, and I want you to subscribe. Let's get to 750,000 by the end of the year.
That's key. Have you bought me a Christmas present yet?
I haven't actually. That would be my present.
For one final time, we're speaking about Curve, the card that just keeps it simple. But Theo, I've got all my credit cards, debit cards, receipts, loyalty cards, and this bulging wallet. Why do I need that?
Well, you're a mug. Get all this muck and just keep it all on here.
Go on, Theo. Sell it to me then, pal.
Okay, well, first thing is you can get Curve Blue. It's free. And when you do, you can get a free £5 note off your first transaction.
Wow, but Theo, I bet there's no cash back on that Curve card.
You're a mug. 1% off every payment you make in the first month. And they've got certain deals with like Uber where you can save even more on your first transaction.
Right, okay, but can I take that to the ATM machine and get the cash out?
You can, okay? And when you do, no transaction fees midweek. How good is that?
Do you know what, Theo? I think you've just sold it. I'm taking my fiver. See you, mate.
Hey, where you going, you mug? All right. Now that he's gone with your fiver, go collect your own, your virtual fiver. First thing in description, go collect it, son.
I can't believe it. Even Thogbear's getting in on the Curve action.
And let's get into Arsenal. What was the best decision they made in the year?
Very easy, Theo. Trust in youth. I'm looking at players like Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe, Ramsdale, Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
Really exciting young players. And as a neutral, I'm wanting to watch Arsenal these days.
Really impressive. I completely agree. Arteta trusting in the youth is exactly what I've got written down. Their average age against Leeds recently, when they started Martinelli and obviously won, like, what, was it 5-1 in the end?
Yes.
Smashed them out the park. Their average age was 24.7. in their starting 11. Just to give you some comparison, because that probably won't mean much to you, Liverpool's average is 28.0. So they're planning for the future. They're ahead of their top 4 competition in terms of planning for the years to come. And that is brilliant from Arteta. And the signings he made in the summer, the trust they put into him has come off.
And the great thing is, Theo, pre-season, a lot of people were criticising the transfer policy, but they seem to have got it just right.
Spot on.
Aston Villa is very easy, Theo, bringing in Steven Gerrard as manager. Now, he had 3 great years at Rangers, didn't he? Ask any Rangers fans.
Yep.
He's come down to Villa, he's gone straight in, he's won 4 out of 6 games. The only games he lost, Man City and Liverpool.
And you can take those losses. He's been brilliant. I was actually surprised that he would be the new manager of Aston Villa. I remember when they were talking about it. I was like, there's no way he's going to leave Rangers. They're in a comfortable position. They're in Europe. They're probably going to win the Scottish League again. But he left. He just walked on them. In fairness to him, he's a top manager and he's proving that at Villa this season. So that is the best thing they've done this year.
And on top of that, Theo, he was a sensational player. So those young players in the dressing room, when they look at Gerrard and he tells them to do something, you do it.
Well, exactly, Thog, Dad. And we're already seeing Chukwuemeka and Jacob Ramsey breaking onto the scene and smashing it under Stevens. So great things to come.
Yeah, and Jacob Ramsey in the post-match interview said that he bases his play upon Steven Gerrard.
Well,
so what a mentor that is. And the next team is Brentford. What's the best thing they did, Theo?
Moving to a new stadium for me. I think moving to the Brentford Community Stadium is an excellent piece of business that they've done in 2021. Now, I say business because it's more revenue. They've got more seats in the crowd. It's a more enjoyable atmosphere to be in, because if you went to the old stadium, it was good. And the atmosphere was actually really good. You had loads of standing seats behind the goal. But for your neutral fans and for your typical guys, if you want to grow as an audience, you need a nice looking place. And they've got that now. And also, it's attractive for the players.
That is a very interesting one, Theo. My argument would be they've been building that for several years. But I take your point.
But it was done and they moved in this year.
Correct. What I've gone for, Theo, is actually keeping faith with the Moneyball strategy.
Right.
They finally got to the Premier League. Instead of splashing huge amounts of money like Norwich did, they invested in 3 players and they kept their squad together. So they brought in Ayer, Onyeka, Visser, 33 million there. But apart from that, they didn't go stupid.
Interesting.
And the next team is Brighton and Hove Albion. Theo, I've gone for keeping faith in Shane Duffy.
Yeah.
Now, last season, he had a really difficult year. He went on loan to Glasgow Celtic. There was a lockdown. His dad died. Really tough times on and off the pitch. This season, he's come back in. He's been the best player for Brighton.
Dad, he's been one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League.
Absolutely.
So I completely agree with you. I mean, the respect that Brighton have given him to come off a really tough time and build him up as a player again, at his age as well.
Yes.
People could have just written him off, kicked him out the team, but no. He worked hard, and the team worked hard to get him back to his best, and we've seen that this season. So, well done to Brighton and Shane Duffy.
Okay, Theo, Burnley, what is their best decision of the season?
That is the easiest thing in the world. Signing Maxwell Cornet. Do you agree with me? Please tell me you agree with me.
I totally agree. 25 million quid from Lyon. A lot of people questioned it. They thought, why is he going to a Brexit team like Burnley?
Well, it worked, didn't it? Because he come in and he added something different. He's a finisher. He's got pace. His shot per goal ratio is one of the best in the league. If he has a good chance, he will leather it. And now he's had a few injury hiccups, but short little things. He comes back and he's still unbelievable. What Burnley need to realise is when you sign a player who literally scored in the Champions League quarter-final for Lyon, okay, and knocked out Manchester City, you're going to sign someone decent. And he's proven it this year. What a piece of business.
Absolutely. 5 goals in only 9 games. Some of those goals were superb. And more than that, he's brought excitement to the Burnley fans at Turf Moor. A brilliant
Someone
signing.
told me that he was going to flop because he was just in the French league and he's going to be absolutely torn apart in the Prem. I remember someone told me that. I forgot who. But they are looking very, very silly right now. 5 goals in 8 starts. He's smashing it.
Chelsea now, and their best decision is giving game time to Trevor Chalobah, in my humble opinion.
Wow, okay.
Because they sold Kurt Zouma for 31 million quid, and instead of spending 60 million on Ben White or whatever, they thought, let's bring someone up from the youth ranks.
So who made that decision?
Good point, go on. What's
Thomas
yours?
Tuchel.
Yes.
And the appointment of Thomas Tuchel is the best decision they've made of 2021. January 2021. They're slumping down the Premier League table. They're still in the Champions League, but not really showing much. Their team is demotivated. They sacked Lampard. A lot of Chelsea fans were very upset about it. We know that. Some of my friends, Rory, gutted. Tuchel comes in, smashes it. At first, they were thinking, Tuchel, is he the right appointment? He goes and wins them a Champions League in his first year. By far, Dad, that is their best decision. A Champions League is far more of a good decision than giving Chalobah game time.
Well, I'm a massive fan of Chalobah, and I'm sticking with my decision.
Okay, well, it's all similar anyway, so fair play to Chelsea.
Crystal Palace, Theo, what is their best decision of the season?
Appointing Patrick Vieira. And the reason I say that is because he's made so many good decisions. I mean, bringing in the likes of Conor Gallagher and Mark Guehi have changed the season. All the bookies went against him. They all thought he was going to get relegated. Pundits were going on and saying, why have they hired Vieira? What has he done as a manager, to deserve a Premier League club? Look at their team. They're getting relegated. The bookies slashed their odds. And he proved everybody wrong. He made those couple signings I mentioned earlier. He got the team together. Now they're in a battle for top 10 against Villa and Leicester, and they're smashing it.
Right, Theo, I kind of agree with you, but similar to Arsenal, I'm going to say trust in youth. Now, remember the last manager was Roy Hodgson. He was a cracking guy, but a bit older. They brought in Patrick Vieira, and Patrick Vieira has said, I need to bring more youth to this team. So
absolutely.
Eze, Elise, Guehi, Conor Gallagher. These are excellent young players there.
And I'm sure Eze and Elise will have a big future at Palace. So focusing on the youth is important. So we somewhat agree.
Everton now, Theo. This has been a difficult season, hasn't it? They've lost their manager. Financial fair play meant they couldn't spend money. What have they done right?
There's not many things Everton have done right. And I actually feel for all the Evertonians out there. It's been a very tough 2021 year for you. I mean, everything that's gone on in terms of Gylfi, the money they've spent that hasn't gone into the right places, the board that's running the club they don't believe in. A lot needs to change, and I wish to all the Everton fans watching this, I pray for a better 2022 for you because it couldn't have got much worse. But there is one diamond in the rough, Damari Gray. 1.7 million, unbelievable piece of business. It seems like he saves them when they need it most. For example, Arsenal at home. What a finish. That created a bit of light into the Goodison Park that they needed so much.
Absolutely, Theo. I totally agree with you. 5 goals, 2 assists. He came from Bayer Leverkusen. He almost didn't cost a quid. And when you're not allowed to spend money, try and find diamonds in the rough like that.
Yeah, he's their only piece of hope left in that squad, so they should absolutely value that. So best of luck to a better 2022, Everton fans.
Leeds United now, and this one is very easy for me. It is keeping Rafinha. Now, last season he got a contribution every other game. This season he's doing even better. He's a superb player. Theo, for me, he's a top 4 player.
Dad, he was a creator last season with glimpses of quality. This season, he's the whole package. He's one of the best wingers in the Premier League. He's got interest from everybody. Keeping him in the summer is the best thing Leeds United have done. It may be the reason Leeds United stay up in the Premier League this season. Just keeping one player. Who'd have thought?
Leicester City now, it's been a bit of an underwhelming season so far. 9th in the Premier League after a mini revival.
Yeah.
Have they done anything right, Theo?
Well, it's been a bit of a hiccup season, but one thing I think they got right in 2021 is signing Patson Daka.
Yeah.
because he brings, well, he's a good super sub. He's probably the future replacement for Jamie Vardy. Only having 2 starts, he's got 2 goals and 3 assists. So clearly he's an impact off the bench as well. And he adds something special to that Fox's 11.
Theo, I totally agree with you. He's absolutely smashing it in the Europa League, isn't he? 5 goals in 6 appearances. And I agree, Theo, he could be the replacement for Jamie Vardy. And that is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, a good year for Leicester. I think they need to kick on and try and recollect some of the form they had from earlier on in the year where they pushed for, well, they gained Europa League. They need to try get it again. So let's see if Leicester can kick on in the second half of the season.
Liverpool now, Theo, what a team they are. What is their best decision of the year?
Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, I would say overall just keeping the whole squad together.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the best thing. But I also want to give a big mention to Konate.
Yes.
I think signing someone young and a centre-back to kind of be the backup, because last season that centre-back position was a mess. So they acted well. They made sure the rehabilitation of Virgil van Dijk was going to come in at the perfect time. He recovered well. We've seen the signing of Konate be a good one because he is the future centre-back at Liverpool Football Club. He will get better and better. He's young. He's not going to start every game at this point, but when he puts a red shirt on, he will give it everything, and that's what they need. So signing him was probably the best decision of 2021.
I agree, Theo. What a great team needs is strength in depth, and the Achilles heel of Liverpool, like you said, was frailty in the defence when you have 1 or 2 injuries.
And also improving Tsimikas on the training ground. What we saw of him last 2020 calendar year, not the best player, you know, he was still a little bit scared to put on the shirt. I don't know what they've done to him, but this year, he's just been incredible. When he puts a Liverpool shirt on, he wants to die for the 3 points. He's got a great cross on him. He's got strength, this core that just holds people off, similar to Robertson. I think he could be the future of Liverpool too.
Manchester City, this is another very easy one for me. It's keeping Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo! Correct. You also agree with me. I also picked Bernardo. Sorry, I tried.
Theo, never sing. Now, he's signed a contract until June 2025. He's 27 now. He'll be 30 or 31 by the time he leaves. He is a wonderful player, possibly the best City player this season.
Spot on. He's playing in a more forward role from last season. He was kind of a midfield 3 last year. Now he's in more of an attacking role, and he's smashing it. He's on the end of things. He's creating. He just gets into positions where the defenders, they don't know he's there. And he finishes his dinner. Overall, he's been one of the best players for City this season. Over the calendar year, it looked like he was about to leave.
Yeah.
I swear over the summer, he was moments away from leaving Manchester City and they were going to go and bring someone else in. But City, they declined it in the last second, and that is the best decision they've made this year. Well done to the Blue Boys.
Manchester United, Theo, what is their best decision of the year?
Now, I know people will say signing Cristiano Ronaldo is the best player in the world, blah, blah, blah.
No,
that is not the best thing they've done in 2021. It's appointing Ralf Rangnick. Now, I know what the comments are saying, but he's not had any games yet, so how have you judged him already? But that's exactly what it is. Your eyes are not on him as much as a Jose Mourinho or a Antonio Conte or a top manager that we know, and every decision they make, everyone's commenting on it because, you know, he brings a fan base with him, basically. They don't have that with Ralf Rangnick. He was an unknown manager before Man United. He had a few good German clubs, but never a big one. So that takes the pressure off slightly. And that's exactly what United need. They're not going to have a manager on a massive wage and be the most expensive and have all their eyes on them. They can gradually improve as a football club and get back to where they belong. Who remembers Sir Alex? First couple years as a United manager, he didn't do that successfully. And that's the sort of thing that they've got to be able to understand with Rangnick. It might not work straight away, but they've got to keep the faith.
Yeah, with Rangnick, Theo, he's done a lot of work behind the scenes at Hoffenheim, RB Leipzig, and a lot of other German clubs. He was a real innovator. So his system of 4-2-2-2 is something that he developed over the years.
Yeah.
Massively respected within the game. Now, for the last couple of years, we've been saying in these videos that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is out of his depth. And it was the United brass. It took them too long to see that, didn't it, Theo?
It did. They tried to keep the faith in Ole. I think it was the right decision to sack him, but overall the best decision of 2021 for them was hiring Ralph.
Newcastle United, very easy. It's completing the takeover.
Yep.
Now, a few months ago, we thought it had been kicked into the long grass, didn't we, Theo? Because of all the things going behind the scenes, and then it suddenly happened. Mike Ashley has gone. Newcastle are the richest club in the world. Now, they might be going down to the Championship next season, but in 10 years' time, it'll be a different proposition.
New owners is definitely the best thing to happen to Newcastle in 2021. In fact, it's probably the best decision that any Premier League club has had in this year. How much of an impact that will have on the future is incredible. They're going to have budgets to sign players way better than the range of quality they have currently in that squad. And that is an absolute game changer. Followed closely by a second is actually giving time for Joe Linton. And since Eddie Howe's come in, they play him in a deeper role. He looks incredible. It's hard to tell whether he'll be in the team in 3-4 years' time when they've spent a lot of money. The fight he puts on in a Newcastle shirt, he's turning into a little bit of a legend. The way he got all his stick and it was out of his role and no one really thought he was anywhere near good enough for the Premier League. But Eddie Howe's dropped him back a bit. He's good on the ball. He's running past Rodri like he ain't even there.
Well, he works hard, Theo, but Newcastle are 19th in the table. But you know what?
It doesn't take one man to save them. It doesn't take one man to save them. Newcastle fans will agree with me. I watched 90 minutes of Newcastle United, and you will agree with me.
Norwich City, Theo, what is their best decision of the year?
Sacking Farker, hiring Dean Smith. I think, personally. What do you reckon?
Well, I agree totally. Under Farker at times, I thought Norwich City were embarrassing. It was a case of, is this the worst team in Premier League history?
And also, the players fell out.
Yes.
And that was under Farker.
But it's
he
all
wasn't
related,
able
isn't
to
it?
recover that. A manager's job, one of the biggest things in the dressing room, is to not make your own players kick off with each other, especially with things that should be left off the pitch. He didn't handle that correctly. Dean Smith come in, they had a bounce. They won 2, drawn 2, and I know their form has fallen off, but things have been unlucky for them, like Matthias Norman, who's been their best player this season, got injured. Okay, he was a game winner for me. So, yeah, things will work for Norwich. Keep faith in Dino, and it will come off.
Yeah, I think they'll still go down, maybe in 20th. But as of today, they're in a relegation battle. They're neck and neck with Burnley and Newcastle. They're within touching distance of Watford. They might just stay up. Don't put any money on it, but it might just happen.
Few wins, you never know. That's all we're going to say.
Southampton now, and the best thing they did is raided Stamford Bridge, and they took Livramento and Breuer. One on loan, one signing, 2 very good young players.
When you said raided Stamford Bridge, I thought you meant like the protest, like we were there, you know?
Yeah, we were. We saved football. But no, Livramento, Theo, what a player. 17 appearances. He's younger than you.
5 million signing. The best thing they've done in 2021 is getting him in the team, giving him the position, and believing in him. Yeah. Because now they're sitting there with the best right back outside the top 4.
Theo, you know what? I got Southampton wrong. I thought they'd be in a relegation fight, but I'll say today they're staying up.
They're staying up 100%.
Tottenham Hotspur Football Club of North London. Theo, what was their best decision of the year?
The hiring of Antonio Conte. Now, I know they did it a few months late than when they should have, but look at the bounce. Yeah. Everywhere he goes, he performs. Juve, Italy, Chelsea. Average points per match over 2 at all of the clubs. When it starts to not work, he leaves. So he's going to be there, improve Tottenham. They might win a trophy, and we're already seeing it. Kane scored against Liverpool. They showed real fight. He absolutely fired up the new Tottenham Hotspur stadium. He was getting him going. That is an incredible job. He's going to continue to go from step to step with that club, and Tottenham will be back.
Absolutely. Nuno Espirito Santo, what were they thinking? It was a bizarre choice. Yep. All the football commentators were scratching their heads and saying this won't end well, and it didn't, did it, Theo? Watford, this is very easy.
You mean Dennis now, because that's the only opinion we're
all going... No. What? Ben Foster. Playing him every week because we all love to see the GoPro footage, don't we?
No way. You serious?
You've not gone for Dennis.
I've gone for
Hashtag free Ben Foster. He's playing. He's brilliant.
Yeah, to be fair,
age is just a number.
And the vlogs are great, and he's smashing it in the Prem. Is that really what you gone for?
Yes, it is.
Fair. That's pretty good. I have gone for Dennis because he cost 3.4 million. When he come in, I was a bit unsure. I did sign him on my fantasy team. He had 2 games at the start where he didn't score, and I was like, I'll sell him. The moment I sold him, he turned unbelievable. You can prove that because he tells me every week when he gets a goal or assist. 14 starts, 7 goals, 5 assists, limbs in the Watford away end and home end when he scores at home. And I just think he gives them a glimpse of hope of survival.
Can Watford stay up there?
Yes, easily. They score goals for fun. They have those 4-1 United games. Ranieri will get the ship going.
West Ham United, very easy this. They kept Declan Rice. It would have been so easy to sell him. He's a brilliant player.
Spot on. Declan Rice, keeping him over the summer is the they finished 6th last season. This year, they're in 5th place, battling for 4th. That's what happens when you hold on to your team, your manager, the structure. Well done, West Ham.
And finally, Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club. What do you say, Theo?
It's very simple. The hiring of Jose Sarr, the replacement of Patricio. Now, if you actually look at the stats, I know a lot of you won't watch Wolves for 90 minutes because for some reason, games like Chelsea-Wolves were just not televised.
Well, there's no goals, are there?
It was a Sunday night, 2 o'clock game. I know there was no goals, but you don't know that before the start of the match.
Well, you pretty much do these days with Wolves. They're not going to score. They're not going to concede.
That's true, to be fair. Going back to my point, the reason it was a 0-0 and the reason Wolves have kept so many clean sheets this season, well, low scoring either way, is because of Jose Sarr.
Absolutely.
80% save percentage, the best in the Premier League this year. How a player can come in and have such a quick impact is incredible. That is the best decision Wolves made in 2021. And that is it. Wrapping up the video, all 20 best decisions. If you disagree with any of them, let us know in the comments below. Tell us a decision your club made that was the best thing in 2021. Please subscribe. If we get to a 3/4 of a mil by the end of the year, and that's the only Christmas present I need.